panelists for this special session.
Let me go on.
Okay, if you have.
Where am I presenting from?
We can sit and then anyway.
Good afternoon, everyone. Volunteer is anyone who is interested in the environment and wants to say his or her mind. Please come and take a seat. Otherwise, why are we here? We need a volunteer before we start. Thank you. Oh yeah. Please, let's applaud her as she becomes one of our panelists. Her chair has become free for one more person. How many minutes do I have, sir? 20 is too long. Please, let's welcome Professor Alo and give him a big round of applause. He's the chairman of the organizing committee of this beautiful conference. My name is Dolapo Fashawe. I'm a medical doctor, a public health physician, now turned an environmentalist. But remember, in themes, they put health and environment together because there's no good health without a good environment. Even our forefathers had environmental health officers. When I read history, they called them Wole Wole because they understood the importance. But for today, we're talking about how air quality, how we manage our environment to make us a more sustainable and more resilient city. So we will start with, who is a resilient city? What is a resilient city? I am so happy Professor Abayomi did justice to that topic, but I will say it in simple English. A resilient city is that one that can stand strong in war, in pandemic, in natural disasters, and how can you stand strong? You have had plans. It's not reactive, it's proactive. So when we say we are resilient, peradventure if flood comes now, we have protocols, we know what to do, we know how to manage it, we have used data, we have used artificial intelligence to get us ready. You can imagine resilient cities in the world. Even some cities that we thought were resilient, this pandemic has showed us that we're all just developing together. But thank God for opportunities like this for us to buckle our belts. The environment and the economy are really one. A coin. Economy of this nation cannot thrive without a good environment. None of us can thrive without a good environment and good health. Let the governor do all the roads, let them do all the schools. If we can't breathe and we have to swim around, the environment is messed up, then the economy is dead. It becomes a failed city. So that is the reality. What is air quality? This air quality we keep talking about. Now, air is the only thing we share all around the world. And it is oxygen, O2. No matter where you are in the world, it cannot be anything else but O2. So, the environment has no boundaries. And that is why in international organizations, international conferences, starting from the 80s, Montreal Protocol, Kyoto Protocol, Kigali, even in Africa, they amended it to suit us a little. Paris Protocol, UN, we are all signatories to it. Because those guys over there know that if only they protect their climate and the rest of the world is not doing the same, it will still come back to haunt them. And that is why we have to start paying attention to environment. The new president of the United States of America is a climate change advocate. And for all of us here who are interested in environment, There are lots of funds and grants out there to help us clean up the damage we have done. Somebody said yesterday that the climate has changed. How do we remediate? How do we repair it? Now we have to understand the concept of air quality. I wouldn't call air the climate. It's just part of the ecosystem. But we are environmental protection, air, land, water, sea, underground, overground. But today we're talking air quality. It is a measure of the overall or mean condition of a defined area by measuring the amount of gases and particles in the air. That's just air quality. It's like quality of Ankara. There's a machine that can say this is good quality or bad quality. Now, how does it concern us? It can be affected by anthropogenic. That's anthropogenic activities are things we do ourselves as human beings. Manufacturing, generator, refinery, smokes, wood, fossil fuel burning, desertification, we're cutting trees. All those things affect the climate. And then spatiotemporal factors just means for where we are and the current condition. It's not a static situation. Climate change is moving. As we wake up every day, something happens every day. And so I've told you what is air quality. That's just the measure of how clean this air, even indoors. But at LASEPA, we are concerned with outdoors, how clean it is. And it's ranked on a color scale. That's what we call air quality index. For everyone that has an Android phone, you can Google, there's some apps that can tell you the air quality of wherever you are at that point in time. Now, to understand what it is saying, it is ranked on a color scale. And it is mean, is a mean, like we get, the amount of oxygen, the amount of carbon monoxide, the amount of carbon dioxide in 6 different places, and we calculate a mean. It's an average. And color will show you red, danger, evacuate, amber. So we see it on CNN. Now I'm trying to make us all understand what they're talking about. And next slide. Obviously, a poor air quality index has a direct effect, not only on the economy or on the states, but on you and I, all of us. And how do we worsen the air quality? It's all there. Fossil fuels are those fuels that, how do I explain it in simple English? We call them dirty fuel. Diesel, wood, when your car is using petrol and you have not serviced your car and is not combusting that petrol well, and you see smoke coming out, all those things are causing poor air quality. And in Lagos, a study has been done by the professors and the academic. LASEPA is working closely with academia because they have a lot of data. Data is the future of the world. The highest emitter, welcome, ma. Please, someone give space for the permanent secretary. Okay, thank you. And in Lagos, the highest contributor to our air quality index going towards red by scientists who have used objectively verifiable data is the transport system. Transport sector. We do something called source apportionment. It will surprise you that in developed countries like the UK, it's from the industries and air travel. They like holiday, local travel. Their transport, it cannot be because they are lack vis, or whoever is checking their car is checking it constantly. The kind of petrol they sell, they have reduced the sulfur content so that what is emitting is low. We, in developing countries, LASEPA has been called several times to industries, to noise pollution to air pollution. But we have to start to think about me as a person. What can I do? And you can not only do for yourself, you teach. I'm taking my time to teach so that you can teach. And that's the only way we can have any progress. Somebody has said that we are the first generation to pay attention to this climate change. And if we're not careful, we will be the last. The only way to make sure that we are not the last is to pass on this information to young children. When you go online, when I joined the environment, checking people that are advocates of climate change, they started from maybe reading a poem in primary school. And you see them for 40, 50 years. That's all they are fighting for. So that is the plan with this current government, and we hope it works. Now, air quality and how it affects Naira, Kobo, dollars. It is obvious. There was a World Bank study in 2019. You can check it. It is by Krotoru, Miranda, and Saraf. I have copies of that publication in my office if you're interested. It is a public health threat in Lagos because the cost of air pollution is immeasurable on our standard of living, on the economy, on people coming to invest in Nigeria, or people bringing. Has anybody seen Olushosu? Yes. He will talk to its chief technical officer. And poor air quality increases the potential of toxins and pollutants in soil and water. What does that mean? When our air quality is bad, there's something called acid rain. It's chemistry. We have emitted all sorts of things. There's rain. It enters the ground. Our crops are infected. Sea animals that we eat are infected. Even flies, we need them as part of a big ecosystem. And when we mess it up by poor air quality, you start to see famine. You see what has happened in countries where there have been disasters because they were not resilient. They didn't plan. They didn't have an action plan. Climate change is one of the things that are killing people out there, not even the war. Because there's famine, there's hunger, they have to walk miles for water, they cannot farm. Even in Nigeria, let's not go too far. This cattle, meat that we like to eat, they are not finding grass to eat where they used to find. And that's desertification. People have cut, build. We are moving closer to the forest every day. These animals have to eat. They will start looking for where there's food. It's a direct correlation with climate change. I wonder if anybody has thought about it up there. Now, that is on economics. On human beings, I want you to look at this. 11,200 premature deaths in Lagos were attributed to both indoor and outdoor pollution. From medical records, from checking, from data, 11,200. And 60% of this 11,200 were children under the age of 5. So your mother is frying puff-puff every day, and you're just inhaling secondhand smoke. Then you come up with pneumonia. Sir?
5 minutes more.
Oh? I think I finished though. If it's 5 minutes more. So I've spoken about its economic importance. I'm sure we all understand. Next slide. Now, this is a concept. What do we mean by sustainability? That everybody is always talking about. Sustainable economy. The economy must be good. The society must be happy. The environment must be livable. Government, fair, that's political will, and that's why we are here today. for government to spend so much money for us to send this message out shows political will. And the environment is clean. When all of these touch each other, we have a sustainable and resilient city. Thank you, Prof, for stopping by. Next slide. Next slide. I have 5 minutes. So, what do we do as government and stakeholders and LOMA? One, we have to start setting goals with our legislation. Two, what's our baseline in Lagos? I can tell you we have none. Because we don't have enough data to calculate mean and average. Our data in Lagos we can't say what obtains in UK obtains in Lagos. How many people do Bolly or use 12 years old car? So we have to get data to get to our own allowed international standards. And we will have an implementation plan, constantly monitor and evaluate. Otherwise, this will just be another talk show. Next slide. Next slide. Now, Lagos State, Ministry of Environment, Water Resources, and LASEPA's Air Quality Management Scorecard. That means what have we done? Political will and commitment, I've spoken about that. We're here. Advocacy, the Ministry of Environment has a big program, Environmental Biz, taking this message to the younger generation. Technology, LASEPA has been able to win a World Bank grant to put at least 6 air quality monitoring stations in Lagos. Each one costs about almost $1 million. And these things are looking real to me. The air quality in Jankara, if we were abroad, they will announce evacuation. Because there's so much dust and everybody is trying puff puff. We now put the thing in a primary school. It's good because we can make policies and decisions after then. We have to switch to gas. There's no other way. That's what we were talking about yesterday. So we do a lot of research, and currently we have taken one of the buses in LASEPA. We have hybrided it. It's using gas and petrol just to reduce our carbon footprint. I did not do all of it at once because I have not seen it. We are doing a pilot study. Chairman, House Committee. Chair. You're welcome, sir. So we're doing a pilot study right now in the agency on hybridization of cars. What do you mean by we should change to gas? So we picked one of our buses, half petrol, half gas. Hybrid means half-half.
60 seconds.
Add 1 more minute. And that's research and development. We're still on the study. Cost-benefit analysis, I can tell you we have saved over 1 million naira. Carbon credit mop-up, imagine how much carbon we have saved using gas. And enforcement. We want people to report to us. When you see, smell, or feel pollution, we have hotlines, both in the ministry and in LASEPA. Next slide. We also work closely with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources because we want clean energy, alternative to fossil fuel. Last 2 administrations, we concentrated on solar. But knowing the climate and the unsteady temperature and, things are erratic, we can't rely on solar alone. We are advocating gas. And very soon, we will move to the cleanest form, electricity. And thank you very much for listening.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma. That was an excellent presentation. I didn't expect anything less. Please, can we put our hands together and appreciate Dr. Mrs. Fashawe, a medical practitioner turned environmentalist par excellence. Thank you very much for that, Ma. Let me, before I throw this open to those of us who are listening, let me especially welcome and recognize the presence of the member of the House of Assembly and the chair of the environment in the House, in the person of Honorable Rotimi Abiru. You are welcome, sir, and thank you for being here. Quickly, I think it's important to also just recognize a few persons. I don't know all of us, but I can see the Director and HR for the Ministry of Environment, Office of the Environmental Services, ma. You are welcome. I can see the D account. Thank you very much, ma. I know I can see the team lead of C40. I should have brought you here, sir. Yes. Mr. Maximus. Thank you for attending. And I can see my AGM Waste Management Development in Loma, the person charting the new direction for waste management in the state, Dr. Asian. You are welcome to be here, sir. Thank you very much. Quickly, I will not want to bore us on recapping on what Dr. Fashawe has said. I think it is very extensive and very, I think all of us appreciated that particular presentation. So because of time, I will quickly ask us if we have comment, question, maybe 2 or 3, so that we can quickly move out of this session as I have been directed that this session should end by 2:45. And so I have just about 6 minutes. So, so I give Dr. Maximus number 1. I can only take 3. So Dr. Maximus number 1, the lady behind number 2, and this one is the first person to raise up his hand, so I give him number 3. So sorry about the others, because we don't have time. I know you all love Dr. Fashawe very well.
No, what do you mean? They don't know me. So, take the mic to them.
So please, can we have somebody?
Who's helping us?
Okay, I will do that myself. That's fine. It's okay. Don't worry.
Sir, just stay near him, so the question will not be too long.
Yes.
Thank you very much, the moderator. Thank you, the general manager, obviously, beauty and brain wrapped up in one person. Okay, because we don't have a lot of time, I just want to ask one question, ma. It's very heartwarming to note that LASEPA has won a grant from World Bank to put up some air quality monitoring stations. So my question is, what are the criteria pollutants you monitor? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take note, Dr. Fashawe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation. That was really beautiful. 2 quick things. One, to confirm what you have said about air quality. Some time ago, I think in 1985 or 1986, I can't really remember now, when Chernobyl broke out around France. You recall that almost all the children that were born about that time were born with some kind of deformities because of the air quality. One, that is aside. My major concern is the air quality in Lagos and the emissions and pollutions we get from all the kinds of Okadas and the Maruas that we have. What is Lagos State doing? Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And then my last question.
Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Iroko from Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria. I just want to appreciate the presenter, but I'm looking at Lagos State taking seriously the issue of environmental impact assessment. And as the industry are growing, we have some cheap techniques to try to improve the air quality. If you Google and search very well, we've developed some plants like Millennia arborea. It can absorb more than 78% of all these pollutants. They have that strength and what have you. Then secondly, as Lekki industrial zone, free zone is growing, I think there's need to have a master plan that all these, we can't stop industrialization, but they should just try as much as possible to plant so that it can max most of these air pollutants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So, Dr. Fashawe, please. Thank you. Can you respond very quickly?
Quickly, to Dr. Magnus, I won't take time. We measure particulate matter, NOxes, SOxes, and decoxes. Is that fine? nitrogen oxide, sulfur oxide, carbon monoxide, and dioxide. It's simple. To forestry, the biggest carbon sink, I think, the cheapest and the biggest that we can work with in Lagos is planting trees. And we have an agency that is what that agency is all about, LASPA. It's not just for beautification. We're now starting to look for species like yours to put around industrial areas. And this is what this air quality index will tell us, that we need carbon sinks, trees, cheapest, around some areas. And we have laws. You can't even cut a tree in a public space in Lagos State without approval. It's clapping for us. Please, let's clap for ourselves. And if you do cut it, your approval includes LASPA giving you seedlings of similar species and a spot to plant it in. So we're happy to work with you on species, affordability, and sustainability. And the last question. What was the last question? What was the last question? Yes. So I have said in source apportionment, transport sector is our biggest air pollutant in Lagos. We cannot do anything drastic without data, which is what these AQI machines are doing right now. Data is gold. It helps us to make policies, it helps us to make laws and enforce the laws. In fact, more than security, I think Okada should be banned because they are the biggest emitters of carbon monoxide into the air. And the people sitting on them too take it in without knowing. But there's legislation going on. This is Lagos State. It's not a military era or a jungle state. We do things in steps. We're at the advocacy stage. We will come to it, madam. Last year in London, a young girl, her cause of death, it was on CNN. For the first time in the history of British medicine, they called it air pollution. Normally they will say it was secondary to, or this was her cause of death. And why? She lived around an industrial area and she was asthmatic. We have to start to know we're sitting on a time bomb. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for that very quick delivery to those questions. Let me recognize the second panelist here, Onyinye Uwaka, the Keep Clean Recycling Company Limited. I think she will have a word or two to say before we wrap up this session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I just want to mention something, and I know probably some people who are environmentalists might also have an idea of this app, the EcoSan app. The EcoSan app is a tree planting app. You know, you could search with EcoSan, and the money realized, EcoSan, I think it's ECOSAN. You know, if you search with EcoSan, it's just like searching with Google. You know, the money realized from it is used to plant trees, and that would help the environment. So environmentalists are advised to go to search through EcoSan, and then through the internet, and then so that's our app for environmentalists. So and when you do that,
green banking, we have green social media.
Media. So that's exactly what it is. Thank you very much.
All right.
Have you seen SDG, Commissioner for WAPA?
No.
WAPA, SDG,
sorry, ma. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome them.
Yeah. Just to appreciate your presence, ma, and to welcome you to the end of the session. Please, let's appreciate in our midst the Commissioner for Women Affairs. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can see this mask. So please put your hands together for the Honorable Commissioner, please. Thank you very much, ma'am, for attending. I have two online just very quickly, two online questions. I think Doctor has, but it would not be nice for me not to mention it. I think Dr. Fashawa has done justice to those two questions, but nevertheless, the first one is LASEPA engaging with VIO or the Ministry of Transport, particularly the Vehicular Inspection Officer, as regards vehicle emission, especially heavy-duty vehicles? I think you've, but if you still want to add one or two things to that, that's fine. Then the other question is, Lagos through LASEPA is a part of a study led by the World Bank, PMHEH, Particulate Matter and Environment Health, that was to assist the state in the institution of an air quality monitoring protocol. What is the status of that program? I think you've also mentioned that. What do you? Okay, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute.
So the machines are here, 6 of them, and we have them spread across the metropolis of Lagos: Jankara, Ikorodu, Yaba, NCF, Nigerian Conservation Center, and there's one in LASEPA itself. It is not enough, but it is the data that we get from these machines that will help us understand the PMEH that is talking about. We are at our drawing book phase, but there's political will, so definitely that study will come to a conclusion and we would publish the findings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, let's put our hands together for the presenter and the environmentalist on my left. I think we have come to the end of this session. I think we have a lot to take away from this session. We do not have any more time to further engage in any discussion, but I think it is important that we take away some of the valuable information that Dr. Fashawa has presented to us here at this session. The one I remember very well that I think I will take away is the need for us to transfer this knowledge to the coming generation. By so doing, it will not stop on our own generation the need to ensure a sustainable and a resilient city vis-a-vis climate change and air quality. So thank you very much, Dr. Fashawa, the lead presenter. Thank you very much, all the distinguished dignitaries here present. Again, the Honorable Commissioner, thank you very much, ma'am. The chair of the House on Environment, thank you very much, sir, for coming. Members of the Ministry of the Environment, directors, and everyone also here present, especially the lead team C40. Thank you very much for coming. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this session, and I will hope that the rapporteur, okay, my 1 minute, the rapporteur will be ready to do a 5-minute presentation once the session reconvenes at the plenary. Just 1 minute. Okay.
I want to thank everybody that has come, and I especially want to thank the young lady assigned to me to be my, what do you call her? Please, let's clap for her. Where is she? When she came to me, I said to her, I almost thought she was looking for her mommy. But she's done a fantastic job. And I advocate that all women in here, after lunch, visit, what's that room? Main auditorium, stay behind. Commissioner for Women Affairs is talking. And this time we're not talking to market women. We're talking to ourselves. Please take advantage of it. Thank you.
So the session stands adjourned. Thank you very much and have a lovely afternoon. Thank you. Sorry, group photograph. Honorable Commissioner Ma.
No, speaker, sir. Commissioner.
Yeah. Emma Bossa. Ben.
Please.
Oh, okay, okay.
Miss Shula, hey. Thank you. Thanks for ending the event. Finally, come and take my picture now. C40, please give me my photo. Mr. Addison, is that my photo? Ah, oh yeah. Are you speaking to me? Yes, but that would be Mr. Okay. But that would be so this environment. Okay,